and you got trees and branches and all the stuff that you cleaned up with your pole saw or with your shredder. And then you got to figure out what to do with all that stuff. Well, we got a really handy way for you to take that debris and turn it into mulch and stuff for your yard, to put wood chips and stuff like that.
I just think it makes it so easy to clean up. When you have all these sticks and limbs, and you have, even if it's the leaves, everything that you collect can go into your chipper shredder, and it makes it so easy. Because this is something else that I'm sure you've like, well, I can never get one of those chipper shredders. They're gigantic and they're dangerous and they're gas powered. But again, Earthwise has done it so well with this, where all you do is plug this in. And let me show you this. You can see the large hopper that we have on top. And let me just get some limbs here, and I'll show you how we can put these in there. By the way,
this is a huge customer pick, 7 out of 8, perfect 5-star reviews, and I've only got 400. That's it.
It really is amazing. So I'll turn this on and I'll show you this. So it can be a little loud, but you'll see how it's just going to take that stick, that limb right in there, down through that 3-inch blade that's cutting that up. So just feed them in there. This will handle limbs up to 1.75 inches in diameter. Wow. Let it work its way through. So you see, I've also got that pusher right there, the tamping tool. I can push that down in there. Very safe, because you can see the length of the tamper tool, that I'm nowhere near that cutting blade. But there's a large 3-inch disc in there. That's the cutting blade. Right. Very strong metal disc with that cutting blade, so it can handle those large limbs up to 1.75 inches. So again, that's a pretty large limb right there. There you can see the hopper attaches up top. That's awesome. There you can throw everything in there. If it's just leaves and smaller debris, and then like I'm using here, some of those larger limbs.
I could use this in my house.
Have you ever tried to, when you have all these limbs down, you're cutting and trimming, and then you're trying to stuff everything into a garbage can? It never fits. It's a waste. You can't put it in a trash bag because it tears at the shreds. This is a great way to go. And there you're showing the output, what you get from this. And I'm going to put a few more sticks through here, and then I'm going to show you what it mulches it down to. It's unbelievable. It's obviously just a little loud when I get going, but
that's
let's
why
just keep this going
so we can hear you.
And I'll put these limbs in there. So watch as I put the limb in there, and then it basically grabs it and takes it through just like that. I mean, that is pretty amazing what it can do. We'll go with the next one here. And if you need to use that tamping tool, you just do that just like that. You can hear it still working there. I'll give it a second to do its job. I'll put that tool in there, and I want to show you this. Here's what's so cool about this. Wherever you're doing the job, you're going to tilt it back. It's on the wheels, and you're going to move it exactly where you are. And you can see through the collection bin right there, 1.5 bushels collection bin right there. But watch this as I pull that out. Look at this.
Oh my gosh.
This is fantastic when you get a look.
Look at this. Look at what's inside there.
Look at that. This is what it's taking all those limbs down to. So think of the amount of limbs and debris and leaves that you would have to put in here to fill this. And then again, if you're talking about a compost pile, or talking about even using this for mulch, because this is the kind of mulch that's really going to absorb that moisture and keep those plants and everything moist. So if you want to put that around those plants, it's fantastic. But it's a great way to eliminate the hassle of getting rid of all the small leaves, debris, and branches. Put them in that chipper shredder, and then you get that output of that fantastic mulch.
You know what's funny is that, and I say this because my dad actually bought a shredder that he spent like $1,500 on many, many years ago. My mother was so mad at him about this shredder.
Sounds like trouble.
She was like, Bob, she's like, you spent all this money on a shredder, you know, and she got mad because, you know what, he used it. He did use it pretty regularly, but it was so much more than he needed. That was the point. My mother's like, you don't run your own recycling business. What do we? But he wanted to have one. This machine is perfect for your home, for the home customer.
Exactly, just like all the tools we're talking about. It's not more than you need. It's got a simple.
Oh, wow, look at the size of that.
I'll turn that around, show everyone. That's why I was opening that up. Now you could open that up if you needed to. If there was a jam, you'll be able to pull that out of there. You can see we've got the on-off button here. You can see they're just still going with the leaves and things. So you've got your on-off button. It does have that automatic shut-off if there is a jam or something gets caught in there, so it doesn't damage the motor. So on-off switch. Here I just opened that dial, and let me just flip this around for you because I want you to see this. Just slip that around.
Right, there's the blade.
Let's see if we can get that. Oh, you're right up there, destroying the machine. machine, and I see you right up there. So you can see right here, this is that huge cutting blade that's in there. That's what's spinning. Everything's coming down through the chute, spinning at a high rate of speed, and that's what's providing that cutting power. So plenty of power for all that debris. You're going to love doing that. Now, you're not going to have to open that. There's no reason really to open that. If you did have a jam in there, it would be worth opening once you unplug it. This one's completely unplugged, so I was able to do that. But just to show you the on-off switch, just to show you the power of that cutting blade, just like all the tools, they're easier, they're more friendly for your house, they're not intimidating, but most importantly, they're getting the job done. There's going to be plenty of power. You're going to be able to get through all these sticks and limbs and debris, push everything in there, use that tamping tool, feel safe about doing it, and get that nice result of that really nice mulch.
Peter, now there's no maintenance on the machine, really,
no,
right?
you're set to go.
So that's it. So all you need to do is get this home. I've got 400 to go around, and you know, another one of those products that Earthwise has developed for the home, for the person at home.
Yes, it's perfect
for the regular
for the home.
customer. And listen, there's plenty of industrial machines you can go out and spend $3,000 on. That's not what you need. You need something that works for your yard. You know, you have trimmings, you have lawn clipping, just trimming sticks and things like that. That's what you need to get rid of.
I mean, it's very easy to use. I'm just feeding those limbs in there. And letting it do the rest. You can see, look at that, it just pulls it right in there. And then if I need that tool, I can use it as well. There we go. Yeah. I mean, you can hear the power right there. Oh my God. And then again, you'll use that tamping tool. And that's it. And again, it's very simple, and you can see that I could get all the limbs that we have here, and it would go through that chipper shredder, and what it produces, I think, is absolutely amazing.
Dump some of that out, Pete. Show everybody what we got on there. I mean, look at this stuff.
I mean, it is really nice.
It's really chopped fine.
I mean, that is fantastic. And you can see I mean, it really, almost like sawdust.
Yeah.
But that's all freshly chopped right there.
Right.
So again, fantastic for the yard, fantastic for the compost, whatever you want to do. But imagine how small, if you just were going to take this and throw this in a trash bag and take it to the street, it's going to be half the amount of hassle of trying to deal with all those sticks and limbs.
You kind of made your own wood chips right there. So if you want to use these as garden cover, you could do that as well. And it takes these really bulky pieces and it trims them down to next to nothing. If you'd like to buy this, we've only got 400 left to go around. And I tell you, for the price, to have your own personal shredder. And you know what I love too, Peter, is the fact that, again, I don't have to worry about putting gas in this. It's an electric-powered machine. It's on and off. You don't have to worry about pulling a start a thing, you know, because even the professional ones out there, you can't put gas in those things.
Yeah, they're scary.
And they're for a big job.
Exactly.
They're not for your house.
They're scary
for, like,
ones.
You know, big, giant industrial. Somebody takes down a tree.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what they're for.
They can put it in that chipper shredder. Here, don't forget, you can see it in the video right there. Because of the way this hopper's designed, you can pile in a bunch of leaves, small debris, clippings, whatever it is, put everything in there. I just want to keep showing you some of the bigger items, these larger limbs that will go in there, and it does a great job on those as well. So again, using this to take, look at that, up to 1 3/4 inches in diameter. It does a nice job on all those branches. Just taking that right through there. And then if you want to push that down, make sure everything gets through. You can basically hear when it's finished.
Love it.
And then I can turn that off. I mean, this is just like all of our tools. Earthwise has made it, just as you said, Guy, perfect for the normal household.
And there's no mess.
Take care of your yard.
There's no mess. There's nothing to clean up. You know, we put all those chips out there. It goes down into the barrel. Peter, you could put leaves in there too if you want to do, and debris and things.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, if you
wheel
had
it around,
like trimmings and stuff from your trees and stuff.
Yeah, the leaves, the small branches, the large branches. We wanted to just show you the most difficult things that you would put in there. But as I mentioned, up to 1 3/4 inches in diameter. Again, that's a pretty large limb that you're able to put in there. But everything in between, you can put it in there, use that tamping tool, and you are going to create that mulch. You're going to create that small amount of material that you now can load into the trash bag, or you can load into that trash can and put it at the street. There you can see, take it out into the yard with you. just like all of our tools tonight, just add your extension cord and you're set to go. Earthwise has made it, as you said, the perfect household chipper shredder. If you thought they were too intimidating that you couldn't have one for yourself, you can. This is the perfect size.
And remember, it's on wheels for portability too, so if you have to move it around, which is great, so you can move it around the yard. That's a really big deal. Most of those shredders, you see they're industrial. They have to be moved by a truck. You can take this from point A to point B, so you can bring the debris where you need to bring it. It is $189.95. Again, shipping and handling is absolutely free. Read the reviews. Read what people said about this. They love it, and you will love it as well. I want to remind you of our today's special.